all charity matches all over Britain. All those days are gone now. If you have a glass of wine during recording, people write you a letter and say you're irresponsible, some little pillock about this size, you know. All changed, and it's all changed for the worse. And I grew up at the back end of Peter O'Toole, etc., and all that wonderful madness, and it's changed. So, in order not to have to go on tour and do things and go away from home, I started a farm shop. I've got 900 acres up in Scotland, blah, 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 blah. So I'm doing a lot of that stuff now, which enables me to pick and choose. So I have just done, Jules, a wonderful Radio 4 play, and radio is about the only medium left in the business which is still unadulterated. You get in a studio, it's your voice and it's your script, and it's Radio 4, BBC Radio 4. It is wonderful.
Amazing fun.
It is, and if you get the opportunity ever, do them. You only get paid a little pittance, but it's wonderful. All the rest of the stuff is now about fame, celebrity. Half the people I know, with notable exceptions, couldn't even spell OK Magazine. Never mind theatre. So I'm taking a back seat, but doing what I like best, and coming on tour with these people is great fun, and any actor who tells you they don't like talking about themselves is a bloody liar.
Perfect answer, Charlie. What can I say? Stevie, we had a beer yesterday, and you thrashed me at pool convincingly. But during that, you were mentioning about I don't know if anyone knows. Steve used to do a little bit of boxing before he was a famous actor. I know.
Contender.
Couldn't believe it myself. But he's been doing some stuff with some real boxers, shall we say?
Yeah, a mate of mine's got a company, and basically I look after like Sugar Ray Leonard that comes over, Mike Tyson, we've done Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, Jake LaMotta, Tommy Hearns. So basically I take them out for dinner and sit with them and have conversations with them and stuff. And just to be, you know, I box as amateur at quite a reasonable level, but to go and get paid and to meet all my heroes is just an absolute fabulous job. And you know, every time I go and they sign gloves for me or shorts and stuff, it's just amazing. I mean, when we do Tyson, he's probably the only man I can't look at cleaning the eye. It's just like a wild animal, like a tiger when he's talking to him. I said one day I'd come down for breakfast and he sat there and he said, "How you doing, Steve?" I went, "Mike, I've not even had a pint yet." My mate just whacked me on legs if to say, "No, don't say it because he might snap." But yeah, it's just wonderful for me to be able to do that kind of thing and meet my heroes basically, and to spend time with them.
So did you? It was just the story that you mentioned when you were over there, and you were, I think you were sat in front of an audience, and the guy was introducing.
Oh, it was a great night. This we went to Ricky Hatton had just he lost his first fight against Floyd Mayweather in America, and he had his homecoming, which was at the City of Manchester. And this night, on the same row as me, I don't know if you're up on your boxing, but Marco Antonio Barrera is 3-weight division champion. Oscar De La Hoya, 6th division weight champion. Mike Tyson, and I'm sat in between them. There's 55,000 people in Manchester City's ground, and they said that it comes over the tannoy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 3-time world champion Marco Antonio Barrera. They all go mad. 6-time world champion Oscar De La Hoya. Go mad again. 3 times heavyweight world champion Mike Tyson and Steve Arnold. Well, I jumped up as if I'd won the lottery. It was just great, and yeah, like I've been doing a bit of that lately, and I just really enjoy it. It's just a great way to meet my heroes really, and spend time with them. And you know, I just class that as the luckiest boy in the world, to be honest.
Excuse me. So, Jules.
Yes.
I know we touched on the 50th anniversary episode, and I didn't realise that you were doing it live, Steve-O, which that was probably a good move by Granada as well, not having you doing it live. But what was it like, Jules? Because obviously we do live stuff on stage, but to do something like that, and it's on live TV to sort of 20 million people across the UK, it must have been a bit hairy.
Well, I was sort of really calm about it. And, you know, we'd spend... No, genuinely. I was really calm about it, and we'd spend all week rehearsing it. And then I woke up on the Friday morning and I was just being mummy, and I flicked the television on and someone said something about, wishing everyone down at Coronation Street good luck for the 50th tonight. And then the next TV programme came on, a big feature about the Coronation Street live tonight. So I thought, I'm turning this off. I turned the radio on, and Chris Evans is saying, good luck to everyone tonight. And then all of a sudden I was thinking, I'm not so calm anymore. So I sort of went in, and for me it was mixed emotions because it was my last day on Coronation Street. So I parked my car and I'm walking up the lot and I'm sort of waving to everyone, and it really was, I think that's definitely when the nerves kicked in, but also there were so many mixed emotions for me because I knew I had to sort of turn in this performance, and I felt I wanted to do it justice for Stevie as well, because obviously, that was the end of Claire and Ashley.
I'm filling up.
So I can remember sort of everyone was in the green room and everyone was sort of psyching themselves up in different ways, and then them saying, right, positions now, and everyone walking out onto the street. And sort of I was standing behind the salon, waiting to sort of run round. I was meant to have run from Roy's Rolls, and the time from we transmitted at 8 o'clock, from 7:45 till 8 o'clock felt like about 9 hours. And I kept sort of like looking at my watch thinking, oh please someone just say action. And as soon as he said action, it was the quickest hour of my life. It was, because some people were sort of just in one location. I was out on the street, I was in stage 2 where Royce is, then I was running down the back of the lot back into stage 1 where the Rovers was. So it really was an action-packed, adrenaline-filled 1 hour, but I cannot tell you the relief I felt when those credits rolled.
It must have been tricky, because I know the guys in the studio down there, we act our little socks off to sort of 10 crew and 3 little black boxes, and then it's just cut, and that's that, and they roll on to the next scene, and everything's quite laid back, and it is intense, obviously, because I have to get a lot done, and you can't muck around anymore like we used to do. But it's very intense. But to go through something like that when it's a live episode, and there must have been, what was it like crew-wise? This is just for me, I'm sorry, I don't mean to sort of go on, but what was it like crew-wise? Because there must have been 2 or 3 different.
There was 500 crew involved in making that 1 hour programme. It was absolutely immense. The organisation that went into it was phenomenal. I think it had been going on for months, behind the scenes they were building this up, but everyone, the whole thing just ran like clockwork. It was...
I think that's what makes a street work as well, doesn't it? They've got such a fantastic crew there. There's been lads there, it's been like 30 years, haven't they, Char? They're in there, they're in an hour before you are, they go home an hour after you finish, don't they? They do work really hard, and they do put the effort. Going back on the live, I did the 40th.
Oh yes, of course. Yes.
I did that, and we practiced it like twice on the day before we went for it, and we watched it back, and there was cameras in, booms in, people passing. But I think that's what all credit to, like the crew and stuff, because when it actually went out, there wasn't one fault there.
No.
Everybody knows the place, and they did it so well. It's like Julie said. I think the majority of the cast that night went out and no one can remember anything the next day. it was just such a release to get it done, and a relief to...
That was quite normal in our day, wasn't it?
I can vouch for that.
Yeah. No, Julia said something the other day when we were on our way here, that you don't realise how dedicated and how professional the crews are on the street, because we just expect it. And when you go off and do something else, when you've come out the street, or you have the opportunity to do something else, you do realise just how professional they are. Is that right?
The 500 crew that were involved in that live show, hats off to them, because every single one of them did their job to 110%. They really are. They were a credit to, I think, the UK.
I think they are, but don't please, as actors always do not forget yourselves. Actors work their asses off. We all know, this is the great thing about the group, we know them all, Wellings and all the boys, are family, we've known them for a long time. I've known some of them since 1988, and they're still there, and they are great, but don't ever forget yourselves. Actors work extremely hard on Corrie, and they get, I know they get rewards, I know they do, but they don't thank themselves enough. And I've seen Simon Gregson, after 2 years of doing back-to-back 150 episodes, and he's grey, you know, and I take my hat off to the boy. I love him, he's a very close friend, and I watch William Roach, who's not getting any younger, and Betty Driver, God rest her soul, and Eileen Derbyshire. You know, it's not easy when you're old to do this stuff, and I don't think actors get enough sort of thanks, and I've sort of sat back a little over the last few years and watched them, and they deserve everything they get, to be honest with you. I'm very proud to have been associated with these people on my left.
Nice.
So just before we wrap up this first section of the show, Charlie, as Fiery Jim, which is as you are always portrayed in the media, has that caused any problems with you in your personal life? Have you ever encountered anyone who thinks that they might take?
You asked me to tell that funny story.
No, don't tell that story.
Well, I can put back.
Do tell that funny story.
Generally no, because Jim was one of the. Stevie will tell you, and Jules will tell you. Corrie is generally driven by the women cast, the female members of the cast, and the female characters. It's always been women driven, so therefore there were very, very few men in inverted commas in the street, and I was proud to play one of them. But you know, and he was a man, warts and all. People forget he was an ex-soldier, and therefore.